Hello, Dirt Designers. This is your week 10 assignment briefing, and I want to go over next steps on our storybook. On Thursday night, we had some good review sessions. Everyone's making pretty good progress, but time is starting to run out, so we need to make sure that we have a really focused week and are disciplined about how we spend our time. As we are nearing the end, let's take a look at what our schedule is for the upcoming project finalization. So you can see here, we've done part 1 and part 2, and now we're entering part 3, the design finalization presentation phase. And as the name denotes, it's time to start developing your final layouts, start incorporating your typography, developing your illustration for each spread, and getting this into a real life size full book layout. And the goal, the hope is that everyone can have good cover options or have a good cover finalized in a back, and then have maybe ideally half of your spreads done, even more ideally 3/4, but I know we have a little less time because of our spring break interruption, but I think this is a good time to really focus on getting as much as you can get done. If you're not able to get halfway done, don't freak out. There's still more time, but I think it's important to try to shoot for getting half your spreads done. Because after that, we have officially one more week, which is the design completion and final files phase. But as I said in class, I want to kind of maybe build in an additional kind of emergency week. And as you can see here in the full schedule, on week 12 is when you're supposed to be, or week 11 is that last week on the schedule. I should say part 4, it says part 5. But on week 12 is when we submit our final files. So we have that kind of final files week to do more design completion. So it's kind of 3 weeks of work, but I would still look at it as 2 weeks of work and try to get it as far as you can, so that that last bonus week is about just making revisions and last minute touches to get it to be right. And then following that, we're going to submit the books to the printer and have them in hopefully 2 or 3 weeks send us back copies of the book, of each of your books. And like the baby board books, which are coming soon, I think we might have a proof on Thursday. Like those books, I'll be asking for any additional orders, and actually I'll be providing everybody their own link so they can order your storybooks at any time. And for the final third project, as we talked about, we're going to work on an audiovisual book that's meant to be a story that's listened to and viewed on an app. And the concept is that everyone is welcomed, maybe even encouraged, to utilize their storybook illustrations and text to adapt that into a vertical formatted narrated piece. But you're also welcome to create a whole new book and a whole new set of illustrations. And there's time to do that if you're quick and smart about how you work. So don't feel like you have to do that necessarily. If you want to do another book concept altogether or another story concept, we can do that. And you can see here that we have allotted about 3 weeks, 4 weeks to work on that before we get to the final design. So start thinking about that. And then this is just an overview of the idea of continuing to develop your deck for your storybook and to build on it. This is last week's, but I'm showing it because it still kind of has sort of where you should be shooting for to get at. And this next page here kind of shows the addition to that you should be adding in your cover, your back. You can see here this cover and back is still in progress. This title page is going to be important, and with a title page, unlike what you see here, you should have an illustration. You should have your credits for yourself, and if the author is relevant, to put the author's name as well if you're using straight text from a past book, or if you want to say adapted from a certain story, add that in as well. But here it shows that at this point, this designer, Ivy, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spreads really finalized with, I don't know, maybe 5 or 4 more to go. And this is kind of where I'd like to see everybody shooting for, to get to the point where we're seeing spreads that are refined and completed, and your illustrations are worked through, and that the actual book is coming to life at the level where it's pretty much seen as being kind of halfway done. So this is the goal. I know everyone has different challenges in terms of the type of illustration styles. Some of you might be able to work quicker because you're doing simpler, more vector kind of drawings. So keep going if you have the time, and develop it further. But the more time, if you have that more time, then it just means I want you to really explore options more and look at various ways of doing your illustration style, your design style. If it's a simple approach and a quick way to do things, then for sure I want to see options, and I want to see that you push yourself to do as unique and as cool of a layout as possible. So I posted the Canvas file this morning. It's a little bit late, sorry about that, but it's up there now. It's got the Google Drive link. And just a reminder, some of you didn't post your Google Drive from last week, from last class, and that kind of cost you some points. So please put it up there. If you put it up there and send me a email or send me a Slack, then I'll boost up your grade a little bit. And make sure you do it for this coming week for sure, because we'll be needing to click on that as we'll be meeting at my office. And we'll be having our photo shoot session for your bio pics and for some promotion pics showing you holding your books, which will be a white book that will Photoshop the book cover into. Although we may have our storybooks that you can actually shoot with your storybook. So I'm crossing my fingers that those will come by then. If not, we have a white dummy book that we can use as a insert piece. But in that, we're going to do a photo shoot in one room and then design reviews in my main office area. And we'll be doing this in small groups. I'm going to send out a schedule in kind of a wave fashion so that groups come in like 20-minute or half an hour increments throughout the class session, so that we don't have too many people. I have a small office now, and ideally we want to have a few people in the photo shoot area room, and then 3 or so of us in my office. And what your tasks will be to present your work, to have your picture taken, and also to sit in on 2 other people and give feedback on your fellow classmates and take a look at what they're doing and help them with their process. So it's photo shoot, so make sure you wear your coolest outfit and come ready for the camera. It'll be a good time. The photographer is going to be Kelly Lou, who's also a Parsons student, a senior, so some of you may know her. So it'll be a good time. So I will send out the schedule and also directions to my office, which is pretty simple. It's just off the F train. And then also a reminder that on the class resources folder here in the Google Drive, if you click on there, we have a couple of things. We have the Storybook template. You should be working with the template right now, as well as an archive of some past book projects with PDFs. You can see here, there's a good number of them. And that's there for you to look at, to help understand how past students have done their work, to get inspiration from that, to look at the techniques, or how they got through maybe certain problems you might have while you're creating it. Like, always go back to that and look at it. That's a valuable thing, and you can learn from that. And the template, as well, as you should be working on the template now. You should be working in InDesign, creating your illustrations in Illustrator, or maybe you're using Photoshop for some reason. But the idea is going to be that these illustrations need to be imported into InDesign. The typography needs to be in InDesign. I don't want you to like putting it in Illustrator so that it's uneditable in InDesign. So make sure you're working in that way. The templates into documents. The cover, which you're seeing here on the screen, is one document. It's just 2 sides, because the other side, the inside cover and the inside back are blank pages with nothing on them. So there's no like illustrations you put on the inside cover to make it look cool. I wish we could do that, but the printer doesn't allow that. A reminder that the DIRT logo is going to be here in this white box on the bottom corner, right corner of the cover, and it's going to be at that size. It's going to be in that place. You can't move it around. You can't make it smaller. You can't stretch it around. You can't make it a color. You can't stick a picture inside there. Leave that just as it is. And on the back, there's going to be a UPC code centered at the bottom. So make sure you're aware of that, and that your illustration can definitely be interrupted by it. I don't mind that at all, but don't be putting like text down there or something that is gonna not work if that's there. And on the inside pages, a reminder that we have 4 DIRT pages that are mandatory in the book. It's going to be the page 1 with the DIRT scribble, and then a spread that has a blank page, pages 2 and 3. That has a blank page and has your bio and text about DIRT. And this gray square here it indicates where your portrait's going to go. So we'll take those pictures next week, and then we'll be able to share them week after and edit through those and put in a cropped version of your portrait. And also the text here next to the portrait needs to be customized by you to have a description of your story, maybe a sentence or two about your concept, your design direction, your illustration style, or what you wanted to portray with your book project. Take a look at the past books in the class resources folder to see the text each student wrote in their books and in this section, so that you make sure you put that there. And you should be able to get all this text from your design presentation, from the setups you made with the research. There should be all the information you need there to put this together. And then remember that after page 1, 2, 3, page 4 and 5 is the first spread for your story to begin, and that should be a title spread. I don't want to just dive into the story. I want to have kind of a repeat of the cover in a way. It could be a different design, but you could also be based on the cover. But basically, I want a big title. I want your credit and any other credit if there's an author from the past involved, and kind of make that a break where you start the book in a little more formal way. Formal in terms of structure, not in terms of layout. And then page 5 and 6 is where your text begins. And as you can see here on the template, there's 20, and I can't see, but there's 24 pages. So this is 20 pages of design spreads for the student, because 1, 2, 3 at the beginning are DIRT, and 4 at the back. What you're seeing here, the back last page is more books by DIRT page. So there's 20 spreads on a 24-page book that are 20 pages, 10 spreads on a 24-page book that are available in this template, but you can add or subtract. You can't subtract any more than 4 pages. And you must add 4 pages at a time, because we have to keep these in increments of 4, because each form is basically a folded sheet of paper that has 1, 2, 3, 4 pages in them. And every time they add or take away a page, it's a form of 4 pages. So if 24 is not enough, you need to take it up to 28, and then 32 and 36, and then 40. And I wouldn't get much past 40, not only because it's a lot of work, but it's also causes the book to be more expensive. So try to limit it to like 24 to 36 pages is ideal. All right, so that's basically it for now. Please share your progress. Please reach out to me with any questions if you need feedback on something, or if you need help deciding on what's the best way to go. Reach out to me by email or by Slack, and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. And look out for the schedule for our class session on Thursday at my office. If you have a specific need that you want to be early or late in the phase groupings, let me know by Tuesday, and then I'll send out that schedule. And if anybody's concerned about how to get there or anything, reach out to me specifically, and we can work that out. But it'll be a good class session outside of our normal class setting. All right, so we'll see you guys then, and good luck with your work.